Well, hello. Here we are again for our Judges study. We're all the way up to Judges 9. We're looking at verses 22 through 39 today. Yesterday we looked at the first few verses of Judges 9, and we got to know Abimelech a little bit better. And we didn't like what we got to know about him. He wasn't a very good guy, was he? We learned about allegories and or parable type teachings that use metaphor, and we learned about his brother that he didn't kill, Jotham, and how he warned the leaders of Shechem about the danger they were in and the poor choice that they had made, and then he ran away to hide. Well, in verse 22, it says that Abimelech ruled for 3 years over Israel. Now, obviously, he probably didn't rule over all of Israel. Yes, Julia.
Why is it that the good guys are always hiding from the bad guys?
Well, because the bad guys like to kill the good guys. So they don't always hide, though. A lot of times they're going out to battle against the bad guys, like Joshua did. So it's not always hiding, but sometimes when you're outnumbered, retreat is the wiser choice. Live to fight another day. Kazia?
What is a metaphor?
A meta is for deer to come out and eat grass.
No, a metaphor.
A metaphor is a statement where one word is used to describe another word. We used the example earlier yesterday in our lesson about me being a couch potato. I'm not really a potato, but I do sit on the couch too much.
All day.
All day? And I've been sitting on the couch way too much here lately working on computer stuff. All right. So Abimelech ruled for 3 years. Now he didn't rule over all of Israel. Remember, the tribes are still very separated at this time as well. But God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the leaders of Shechem. And the leaders of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. Well, they were pretty treacherous people from the start. They supported Abimelech in his killing of all his brothers in the first place. So we know they weren't really great guys anyway. Now, when it says God sent an evil spirit between them, does God send evil spirits on people? So what does that mean then? If he's not sending demons at them or something, what does it mean he sent an evil spirit between them?
I kind of see it as they're having a talk about something, negotiations or whatever, and God isn't with them, and so it just devolves into chaos and anger, and their relationship just turns sour, and bad stuff happens from it.
If we don't do things with the Spirit of God and the Spirit of peace, we're going to have a spirit of conflict and strife. Yes.
I think he sent an angel down and told him what bad he was doing, and then boom, chaos.
Well, God doesn't send people to do bad things. He doesn't send his angels to do bad things either. But something between these two groups of people caused a problem. Abigail?
Maybe they were just arguing about differences in sports teams.
You think they were this coming from the girl who's wearing a Georgia Bulldogs shirt?
I don't really like sports.
Uh-huh. Well, then you're not missing anything during this quarantine with all the sports being canceled. All right. So the treachery turned into violence toward one another eventually, but the violence that was done to the 70 sons of Gideon, or Jerubbaal as he's also known, was going to come to fruition. They were going to reap the consequences of what they had sown. And so the violence done is going to be laid on Abimelech, who killed them, and on the men of Shechem, who gave him the money to hire the murderers that went with him to murder all of his brothers, half brothers, that is, of course. And so this blood needs to be laid on their head. They're guilty. And so God is allowing them to reap the consequences of what they have started. It says then that the leaders of Shechem put men in ambush against him on the mountaintops, and they robbed all who passed by them along that way. And it was told to Abimelech. So Abimelech finds out, hey, here I am supposed to be the king, but look what's happening. These people, they're robbing everybody. And Gaal, the son of Ebed, moved into Shechem with his relatives, and the leaders of Shechem put confidence in him. So just like they had put confidence in Abimelech earlier, now they've got this new guy comes to town, and they're trusting him instead of Abimelech. And they went out into the field, and they gathered the grapes from their vineyards, and they trod them, and they held a festival, and they went into the house of their God. Remember this, they took the money to buy the to hire the worthless people who murdered Gideon's other sons. They got that from Baal's temple. Baal Berith was the worship of Baal there in their area. These were people who worshipped idols instead of God. And so they took them into the house of their God, and they ate and they drank, and they reviled Abimelech. And Gaal the son of Ebed said, "Who is Abimelech? And who are we of Shechem that we should serve him? Is he not the son of Jerubbaal, and is not Zebul his officer? Serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem. But why should we serve him?" So he says, why are we serving this guy? And the people are listening to him. They're trusting him. And he says, "I wish the people were under my hand. Then I would remove Abimelech. I would say to Abimelech, increase your army and come out." When people have been drinking a lot, they have a tendency to brag a lot about what they're going to do. And this guy starts bragging. "Oh, he put me in charge, and I'll take care of this Abimelech guy." So he goes on to say then in verse 30, when Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. Remember, Zebul was the officer that worked under Abimelech. And he sent messengers to Abimelech to tell him what had been said. Yes, Hannah.
What does it mean by kindle?
Oh, kindled. That's like, you're thinking of your little Kindle that you play games on.
No.
Kindled means to start a fire. So you kindle a fire. And so it is kind of a metaphor. When he talks about anger being kindled, well, it's meaning that anger is starting to flare up like a fire inside. So it's definitely the same kind of anger can smolder or it can flame up just like fire, and it can be a dangerous thing. Smolder, not the smolder like on Tangled, not just a smiley look. Not that. No, just a smolder means it's like burning just a little bit. It's just hot coals. It's not flames of fire coming up. Oh, the things these folks learn in cartoons. All right. So he's wanting the people. Gaal's wanting the people to be under him, but Zebul sends a message to Abimelech saying, "Gaal, the son of Ebed, and his and his relatives have come to Shechem, and they are stirring up the city against you. Therefore, go by night, you and the people who are with you, and set an ambush in the field." So he's telling Abimelech, here's what you can do to get them. He says, "Then in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, rise early and rush upon the city. And when he and the people who are with him come out against you, you may do to them as your hand finds to do." So he's saying, here's what you do. You go get set up out there and close by, and then rush the city in the morning. And then it'll startle them. They'll be up and, oh, we got to go take care of this. And they'll rush out to meet you, and then you'll be ready to battle them. They won't be ready for you, but you'll be ready for them. Verse 34 says, Abimelech and all the men who were with him rose up by night, and they set an ambush against Shechem in 4 companies. Now remember, this guy's talking big, but he has no idea Abimelech is on his way. He probably thinks, well, even if if somebody sends word to Abimelech, it'll be days before he get here. We can be ready for him if he comes. But no, he comes during the night, and he's there first thing in the morning. And there are 4 companies of men with Abimelech, and they're all set in an ambush against Shechem, ready. And Gaal, the son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city, and Abimelech and the people who were with him rose from his ambush. And when Gaal saw the people, he said to Zebul, "Look, people are coming down from the mountaintops." So he sees them coming. But Zebul says, "Oh, you mistake the shadow of the mountains for men. You're just seeing things. It's your imagination. There's not any people coming down. You're just seeing shadows. You're a scaredy cat.
You're new here.
You're new here.
You don't know the way the light on the mountains works.
That's right. That's right. trying to get the light, the light on the mountains, and shadows, they can be tricky. Well, Gael spoke again, and he said, "Look, there are people coming down from the center of the land, and one company is coming from the direction of the diviner's oak." So now he realizes it's not, no, there's people coming this way, and there's people coming from over here too. We got different people coming from different directions. Then Zebul, he knows he can't fool him any longer, so he says, "Oh, where's your mouth now? You were talking big yesterday, talking about how you were going to handle Abimelech if he came and all this. You'd take care of it. Well, where's your mouth now? Put your money where your mouth is," we'd say. "You said, 'Who is Abimelech that we should serve him?' Aren't these the people you despised? Go out and fight with them." And Gael went out at the head of the leaders of Shechem to fight with Abimelech. So now he's got to go and do what he was saying he would do, and he's not too happy about it. But what do you think about this thing that's happened here? Here they were, for 3 years they got along, but after 3 years there starts to be some treachery amongst them, some disagreements amongst them. They get tired of it. Being ruled over by a king can be kind of an irksome thing. People don't like it a lot. Any thoughts or questions before we close this one out?
I think just considering how dishonorable it was when it started, that it's pretty amazing they lasted 3 years together.
Yeah, and they certainly got what was coming to them here with this battle coming on them. And tomorrow we'll look at the battle and see where it goes. Julia?
Is that why we have presidents instead of kings?
Oh, I don't think this is why. I mean, there are other reasons for that that have more to do with the politics of the history of our country. There are still a lot of places in the world that have kings, but certainly a good king could be a really great thing, but a bad king can be a really bad thing. So in this case, remember, they chose the bad person to be their leader. All right. Well, the same thing with a queen, a good queen or a bad queen. Could be either way. All right. So we've looked at this, and we've still got several verses in chapter 9 that we'll look at tomorrow as we see how this battle progresses. There's some more things that we can learn from the story of Abimelech. And we'll see you next time.